Hello, everybody. I'm Brian,
And I'm Brian.
and this is Brian versus Brian. Two men, one name, one movie. Hopefully, two opinions. Episode 141, Blonde. Yeah, you heard that right. Blonde. Released September 28th, 2022 on Netflix. September 16th, 2022 in the United States. I guess it had some limited theater play. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then September 8th in Venice Film Festival, where it got a 14-minute standing ovation. I don't know what the fuck they were on or what the hell they were doing, but
Yeah.
sit down, okay? Just don't
Yeah.
don't encourage him.
Yeah.
NC-17, so must have had a very limited theater run. They don't fucking do that nowadays, dude. It's like no, we'll edit it. We're getting
Yeah.
an R. We're not messing with the NC-17. But the fact that it's Netflix, they didn't give a shit. It was Netflix's first NC-17 movie. That's what kind of made me want to watch it. I was like, what's up? I've never seen an NC-17 movie. What's this? Why is
You're probably
this so...
disappointed because to be honest, I have no fucking idea why this is NC-17. I'll go with you. There's not much in here that would. I mean, there's maybe one scene we'll talk about later that's a little gratuitous, but not that gratuitous. I think I've seen more gratuitous things in R-rated movies, but
I think there's a couple things that pushed it over the edge. But for a while, I was watching it like I don't understand it.
yeah.
For maybe the first 3/4 of the movie, and then there were some things that happened. But still, it's kind of borderline. So who the heck directed this? What was his name? Andrew Dominic. So some controversy with this guy. He's done interviews saying that no one watches Marilyn Monroe films, kind of saying they're garbage. She wasn't known for her acting, and he got a lot of blowback on this movie. And people said it's offensive to Marilyn, and he said Marilyn's dead. So and I was like, ooh, okay. The guy who did the biopic about the person, well, they're dead. Okay, they don't give a fuck. To be clear, I wasn't sure what this was, and I came out of it pretty heated. I was like, what the fuck is this shit? But apparently it's based on a book, which is complete fiction.
Right.
And so this is, but to be fair, they do advertise this, and it seems like it's a biopic, like in the vein of like, I don't know, all the ones that have come out lately. Bohemian Rhapsody, like it seems like Elvis, one of those, like like they're trying to do that for her, and so I think it's a little disingenuous. And then you go into it, and you're like, "This fucking happened to her, shit, dude."
Yeah,
man, they just fucking feel it's a downer the whole fucking movie. So, I mean, I can forgive some of it because it's fiction, but at the same time, it's like, why even fucking make a movie like this that's so much fiction, but using a real world person as your main character? It doesn't make much sense to me. Like, write a movie. It doesn't have to be Marilyn Monroe.
I'm right there with you. Like, this movie came out September of last year, so there's been a long gap, so I've kind of known about the book and some of the liberties the book takes. And so like this author took like real life people and events, but then, made a story that wove them all together kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, I walked away from this movie being like, what the fuck was the point of this 3-hour movie I just watched? And it's like, I get what they're trying to go for, of like showing a different side of Marilyn Monroe we've never seen, but also use her as a vessel of like, to show the downward spiral of fame and identity. But it's like, it's not really doing anything new. And you also just beat me over the head with that for 3 hours. It's like the Marilyn we see at the beginning of the movie, not beginning. I mean, the beginning she starts as a child, but the first time you see her as an adult, she's basically the same character in that scene as she is in the end. Like, she's constantly crying, she's constantly going through the same hurdles through 3 hours. Where I'm like, I don't know. I just walked away being like, what the fuck was the point of all that? Like,
Yeah, and they
it was
made her
ridiculous.
seem very weak and stupid,
Hmm.
constantly crying and just the ditzy blonde. But by all accounts, she was pretty smart
Yeah.
and really like enjoyed acting. Was like a follower of the craft and was really up on her game as far as researching and watching old stuff and really into just the craft of acting. And by all accounts, was trying to be good at it. Um, but they just make her out to be some stupid blonde who's constantly crying, constantly getting assaulted for 3 hours.
Hmm.
Uh, it was like hard to watch at points. I was just like, I don't even want to fucking watch this. It's just fucking over and over. It's like you think something good might happen and it never does. Like you said, it started as a kid, and that's another thing. Like her
Yeah.
mom, I
Oof.
guess, I guess, I guess her mom was schizophrenic, but by all accounts, was never taken out of her home and never uh, did this stuff. By all accounts, she was a pretty good mom,
Mm.
from what I've heard. Um, and in this, she tries to drown her almost right off the bat. Um, keeps telling her dad is this like I don't know who that was supposed to be, like Humphrey Bogart or something.
Yeah. Some old actors from the 20s. Yeah. I have no idea.
And then it finally tries to drown her, and um, yeah, gets taken away, put in an institution. Like the neighbor takes her in, and then it's just like, here we go. From the point of trying to drown her, it's just a nonstop fucking like sadist
Hmm.
thrill ride or something, dude. Like the neighbor takes her in, and then what did the neighbor say they were going to? They were going to do
I
something
think they're gonna
in
go
the.
see her mom. They're like, "Hey, your mom's
Oh
doing okay.
yeah,
We're gonna take you to see your mom."
we're
Yeah.
gonna go visit your mom. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, she's okay now. Okay enough for you to see at least. And then they stop somewhere. Hey, what is this place? We can't keep you.
Yeah.
The mom thing was a lie to cover up this thing, which is almost the worst. We're giving you away to the orphanage.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't get to see your mom today. Sorry, but it's been fun.
Mhm.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Then
Meanwhile, she's like, "I'm not an orphan. I'm not an orphan. I got a
yeah,
mom. I got a
yeah,
dad." It's like Jesus.
yeah. It's it's rough, man. And then I was like, man, let's get to adulthood. And then they do, and it's almost like within what 10 minutes of adulthood, we get a rape scene, a
Hmm.
sexual assault. I was
Yep.
like, Jesus Christ, dude, really? Uh, I can't remember who that guy's name was, but he's like some producer in the movie. I think in the book he was based on this other guy, a real life producer. I think it was for Warner Brothers
Mm.
or whoever she did most of her movies for. But by all accounts, that definitely didn't happen, and he didn't like her. Like she
Mm.
got roles despite this head guy. Like he thought she was unattractive and all these things, and kind of tried to inhibit her career by giving her only letting her do these pictures where it was like these stupid roles where there's not a lot of lines and it's just about her looks. Um, so all that's kind of probably bullshit. I mean, it's Marilyn Monroe in the whatever 40s and
40s.
50s.
Yeah.
I'm sure she was assaulted by somebody at some point,
Yeah.
but I don't think that is real. And they use that as the whole crutch of like, that's how she got started. This is one event that gave her every motion picture. And now, like, she would go to an interview afterwards. You got the job.
Hmm.
She's like, what? I don't know. Someone called and said, you got it. And so it's always going back to that. And she's always like remembering it. And there's like a flashbacks throughout it. Like, I think Joe DiMaggio asked her how she got her start.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
just
And it
flashes
cuts
back. Like,
back to
God, Dad, don't fucking show it again.
yeah.
Jesus tits. Oh my God. So, but this how do you say her name? Anna de Armas.
Yeah. Anna Diamas.
She was really good as Marilyn, though.
Yeah, she was awesome.
I mean, other than having to play the stupid ass version of Marilyn, you could see it in her though. If she had the real version of Marilyn, she would have just killed it. She killed
Oh
what
yeah.
she could on this. I mean, she looks some parts. It's like uncanny
Hmm.
when you look at her, and it's just like, damn, that's a good. And she's like a
Especially when they
brunette.
recreate scenes from the actual movie,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
typically they'll show like footage from the movie, but I'm like, I had to do a double take, like, oh shit, that's not the movie at all. It's her.
yeah. And I wanted to go into how fucking avant-garde and just ridiculous this movie is.
Hmm.
Just it'll be black and white, it'll be color, it'll be the most ridiculous shit and just camera motions. The one thing that really epitomized this movie for me is just like, oh my god, this is just fucking somebody's idea of just high art, but to me it just plays as trash for 3 hours.
Hmm.
Was when she's having. This is another thing about they just drag her through the mud the whole movie. The only time now, do you agree with this? The only time that she is ever like happy in this movie is when she becomes a couple, a thruple with
Yes.
these two Hollywood actors. One of them is like Chaplin's son, and another one is another actor's son. I forget which one. Just throwing so many names and nobody stays around very long for you to remember who they are. They don't even introduce them very well. Like for the longest time, I was like, "Who is this? Is this Joe DiMaggio?" All of a sudden, she's fucking on a date. Anyways, the two actors, and then they like seduce her or something, and yeah, that's like the only point in this movie they give her some happiness is when she's in a threesome.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the point you choose. Like that's when she was her happiest, when she was able to, be in this threesome relationship with these two guys. And once again, they have to use two real guys who this didn't happen, but they got to use these real people. And it's just funny. Some of the dialogues, like being Charlie Chaplin's son isn't easy. He's the biggest star in the world. And anyways, but what I was getting to is that scene. Only point of happiness. She's with these two guys. They're having sex, and she's like, on the side of on her stomach, on the side of the bed, holding on to the edge of the bed. You just get this ridiculous shot of her head moving, like, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh my god. But then the bed side turns to a waterfall.
Yes.
So now it's a
I remember that,
waterfall, and she's fucking holding on to a waterfall, like, and it's just. And I was like, Joe, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
What is this, dude? And it's like that epitomizes what this movie is like. Someone getting fucked on a waterfall. That's what it is. It's like,
Yeah.
dude. And that was her one point of happiness in the movie. Was the waterfall. And I was like, oh my god, they can't.
Yeah, they do something. They don't do a camera trick like that, but they do something similar. I just kind of roll my eyes. Where like, in the last half of the movie, or the third act, I think, she's giving a blowjob, and during that scene, there's a sequence on TV of like a rocket taking, and like during the orgasm, I was like, oh my god, like the explosion happens on the TV. I'm just like, this is so like juvenile in a way. I was like, this is ridiculous. But back to the two guys, yeah, like they that's definitely the only time of happiness for Marilyn, because they see her as Norma and not Marilyn, so there's like a connection there. But even then, even that sequence of the movie, that whatever that is, 25 minutes or so, she's still like a brooding, crying character. Like what I missed in this movie, and I think this is the point, which is like I wanted to see more of the peppy Marilyn, the charismatic Marilyn, but through the whole movie, she's just crying or screaming or having this inner monologue that's like super depressing and sad, and it's just like, I don't know. So even in that sequence, she was the happiest per se, but her character is still portrayed as like the troubled individual. So, but yeah.
Yeah. And then she gets pregnant I don't know if she's ever was actually pregnant. I'm not familiar with that part of her life, but in the movie, she gets pregnant from these two guys, which is
Hmm.
one guy. I don't know if they really bang in on who it was, but the Charlie Chaplin's son was like the main one, and
Yeah.
the other guy was just like there. It's like, this is my friend, and he wants in on it too, but it's really kind of us
Yeah.
are the main love story, and then he's just there, and it's
Hmm.
like because she's always like speaking to him, kind of, the other guy just kind of throws in it. Yes, I liked the sex too. It's just
Uh,
you want to get food more, Magine? Yeah, I'd love a steak. I'll take a salad.
yeah.
He's all off to the side. He's just. I was like, okay.
Yeah, even in the
Anyways,
sand when they're looking at the stars, and I think Cass is his name, the Chaplin guy, and Cass is like, "Oh, there's Gemini," and they're like, "Look, you and I, Marilyn, we're like Gemini," and even the other guys, like, "Hey, well, the three of us are Gemini. Come on now."
oh yes, of course you two, the Geminis. They have like a nickname or some shit. A nickname for their thruple. Everyone's got to
Yeah.
have one, dude. Everyone's got to have one. Um. So then, yeah, she's pregnant, and this is our first like kind of not first, but more disturbing shit just piled on us, right? She gets an abortion, or she's thinking about it. I think she's convinced to get one by like her. Who is that guy? He's like her. What do they call that? Agent
Yeah. Yeah.
throughout the movie. You see him a little bit. She's like, "Well, we need to. You can't be seen with them anymore in public." Oh yeah, and then it's like, uh, there was that other scene where she's in that was super fucked up and disturbed. She's in the movie theater watching the movie with those guys, the premiere
Hmm.
of that movie, and they're just finger banging the shit out of her.
Yeah, it's kind of
Like
weird.
ridiculously. And it was like, dude, there's people all
And
around
obvious,
you.
yeah, it's completely
Yeah.
obvious what's happening.
And this is the fucking premiere.
Yeah.
It's like people are looking at you as the star of the movie. Well, she looks like she's having a good time watching her own movie. I like this motion picture.
Oh gosh.
I was like, God, dude, it's ridiculous. Popcorn flying and shit. It was like, what? The old hole in the popcorn bucket trick. Oh
Oh
God.
shit.
This is when I was my happiest. uh so talk about her agent says she needs to get rid of the baby. She needs to get rid of this throuple thing. They cannot be seen in public anymore. This is bad for her career. Um yeah, then she goes in to get the abortion. She's like on drugs or something, like they drug her up or something, like, I don't know.
Oh,
for
you'll
the
be. Oh, yeah,
procedure.
you'll be asleep within.
Yeah.
I could say something like that. You'll be asleep
And
really quick.
then and then she's like, I changed my mind. And there's this whole dialogue of, no, stop, I changed my mind. No, I don't want to. And then, oh, shut up, you came here already. We already have an appointment. We're busy men in here, Marilyn. We don't have time for people to change their mind. It's just the most ridiculous shit. You shut up in there.
Yeah.
And then, I don't remember if it's this one. Was this the one where they have the shot? I think they have it in both abortions. But the shot of I don't know what the fuck it's
Like the
called.
clamps that go in or whatever.
Yeah, the spreader. It's like a dark shot, and you're like, what is this? And then all of a sudden, something comes at you like a 3D, like fucking Friday the 13th part 3D. It's like, I was like, whoa, hold up. What
Yeah.
the hell, bro? Really? And the doctor's like Ace Ventura looking in the fucking pool hole. Like, what do we have here? Hello, little one. And it's just the most ridiculous. All the while you hear her in the background, oh, I changed my mind. Be quiet,
Jesus.
stupid woman. It's like just the worst
Oh my
shit you
God.
can think of. And then the worst shit you can think of, but then it's like trying to make it super artsy and cool. Like, I got an idea. We got a vagina shot where the prod comes in. And then he's like, that sounds great, man. It's like, oh my God. It's creative, I guess. Give it
Yeah.
that. Oh my Lord. Surprised they didn't have a butthole shot in this damn movie, dude. Wouldn't surprise me. Moving
Yeah, this movie
on.
was like a little too surreal because it's like I don't know how you interpreted that scene, but I felt like all of that was in her head.
Yeah,
Like
is it
she went through the
real?
whole thing, but in her mind she's conflicted by it, and I think that's what the screaming and I think in her mind she's like I don't want this, but like I have to kind of deal. But it's
Maybe,
played as like a ser I don't know.
maybe.
It's played like it's really happening. But
But
and then
they
she like
play it.
runs out of the room, like running
Yeah,
down the hallways and shit.
they play it enough to
Yeah.
make you think it could be happening.
Hmm.
Um, on to the next. So now she's lost that baby or got rid of it. Who knows what's going on in that scene? Um, then she's done with that couple and she kind of moves on with her life. And the movie kind of jumps
Yeah.
between things like without rhyme or reason. And I had a lot of times I was like, what the fuck? Or where are we now? Like, what's the time frame? Where are these other characters at? What happened? Because now they're kind of left behind. Um, I think she talked about moving to New York. Did she move to New York at this point? Because she's now dating Joe DiMaggio, who is a Yankee.
Yeah. I
So
don't
that would make
remember.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a location change. She goes to New York, so she's away from the guys in LA. She's dating Joe DiMaggio. And she just said, like, it starts with us in a restaurant or like diner with him, and he's talking. That's when he asked her, like, how'd you get your start in acting? And he's a flashback to the sexual assault.
Hmm.
Um, and they're just chatting, and she doesn't seem ever very like interested in him,
Yeah.
right? It's just like something. And to be honest, he never actually seems very interested in her. It's just like they happen to, hey, we're both famous and we're talking. And then all of a sudden they're married. I don't remember, like, he didn't even ask her to marry him, right? He was just like, well, I guess we should be married, huh? Yes, I
Yeah.
guess. And I was like, okay. Uh, and I didn't even know who he was. I knew she was married to Joe DiMaggio, so I assumed that's who it was because he said, "Oh, how you used to be in sports." So it's just some small lines like that. I don't remember him expressly telling us that's
Yeah, I
who
don't
he
think they
was.
ever do. I think even in the credits, I actually have IMDb up. I don't think they even, I don't think her third husband is named. Oh, yeah, I guess he is
Yeah.
Arthur Miller. But yeah, I don't think he's ever named Joe DiMaggio's character. Yeah, and it kind of makes sense that they're not into each other because I think in real life they're only married for a year. I think I looked that up. They were only married for a year.
Hmm.
So
And so then she's like on the set of, I don't even know. I'm not familiar with their movies. You know, I don't watch those old ass. I don't watch that old ass
Uh,
cinema. I'm just not into it. It's not
yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
for sure.
Uh,
To be
nothing.
fair, I've only seen two of her movies. I've seen Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, which is the scene where she's in the pink with all the diamonds in the
Yeah.
musical number, and then I've seen Some Like It Hot, which is the drag show, not drag show, the two men that are drag at the end.
The
Um,
drag show.
that movie's fucking awesome. That's a very very good movie.
I was
But
like, is
yeah,
that a man when
yeah,
they're doing
yes,
that? I was like, all right.
yeah.
I
So
thought it was
for
just one of those things like old Hollywood, like men would play women. It's like they
uh
didn't give a shit. Like men were in everything. It's like men would play the old black lady, instead of having a black lady, men would
yeah.
play a woman. We don't need a woman. We could have a man do it. Probably do a better job, anyways. That's what I
Uh,
thought it was. I didn't know the context. I was like, yeah, that
yeah.
seems normal.
Yeah, for context, real quick, it's these two musicians who witness a murder, and then the people who murder them see them as witnesses. They chase them down, and so to get a cover, they join a traveling all-female musical. So
Sounds
they
like
dress like
two.
women to fit in or whatever to blend in.
Sounds like Tu Wong Fu.
I've
We got to review Tu Wong Fu. I was
never
thinking,
seen
man.
that. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never seen it.
We're on this, Swayze thing. I remember loving Tu Wong Fu, dude. And I can't remember any of it now. I'm so young, but I remember
Yeah.
liking it, dude. All right. Yeah. So anyways, the movie. She's doing the movie. I can't remember what movie is it when she's like holding down her skirt on the with the air
Oh,
blowing up.
7 Year Itch.
Yeah, 7 Year Itch. She's doing that. Um, I can't remember. Is this the point where she starts to get a little aggravated on set, or is that later?
That's later. I think
Okay,
after the miscarriage on the beach is when she starts to get a little
oh,
druggy.
wacky. Yeah. Yeah, so she's doing that movie, and they just, they have this really creepy shot where she's holding down her dress, and like all the men, I don't know if some extras and some crew, they're just like, oh,
Yeah,
and it shows
woo!
them, and they're like just fucking, it just reminds me of like South Park, the Atas.
Yeah.
And they're just going crazy, like animalistic. It shows her like just screaming and shit. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, just going nuts. So they're just fucking snapping and shit. And it's just intense, and it's ridiculous. And Joe's there. It shows like all the craziness, and it has his face just like zooms in on him with oh, you fucking ass. Just fucking stone faced. And then they get home, and they've never established he was like violent or anything before that.
Well, they had one scene.
they?
I don't know the context of the photos, but Cass and the triple guy, the double guys show up to meet DiMaggio at a table, and they have like photos of her naked. And like, we don't want these photos to go out or something. I don't really remember the context of what they were trying to do. But he
were they
comes home and like slap her across the face and like throw the photos at her.
yeah, were they trying to fucking blackmail him?
That's what I thought too, but I don't. But he
But
ended
they're
up
like
with
in
the
love
photo.
with her, and
Yeah, it's really weird.
yeah, I don't fucking know. Yeah, but anyways, he comes home after that movie shoot, and you think you flaunting yourself out there with all these men, huh? He grabs his belt and he's like, "What the
Yeah.
And then, for no reason, or the reasons they never tell you, all of a sudden she's calling him daddy a lot.
Yeah.
No, daddy. Oh,
Yeah.
daddy. I was like, oh,
so weird.
God.
Yeah, just like she says it
Really?
to her last husband too. She like starts calling her husband's daddy, and it's just so fucking weird. No,
Daddy. Oh, Lord. And then we're done with that. We're done
Yeah,
with
that was
that.
it.
part of the
We
movie.
end
We
on that
move on.
beating, which is off camera, which is like disturbing because all you do is hear it. You hear the whipping and her screaming. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, oh shit, God forbid you show the belt beating.
You've already done everything else.
God forbid. But that's the worst thing that happened to her in this movie. She'd be all right.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So next we move on to Adrian Brody as the playwright, Arthur Miller.
Yeah.
He meets her. I don't remember how they meet. They always throw you in at work.
I think she goes to like his school, like I think he's a teacher
they're-
at one point or whatever.
And she goes to like acting class, right?
Yeah, acting class with him.
She's
Yeah.
trying to become a better actor, and he's a teacher there or something. Yeah. I don't know. Arthur Miller, is that a real playwright?
Yeah,
One of
I
his
don't.
most-
He definitely is. He's like a really famous.
Oh, he
one,
did. He
but
did Death of
Death
a
of a
Salesman.
Salesman. Yeah,
The Crucible. Nice. Those are big
he's a
ones.
big one. Yeah,
Yeah. So.
he seemed lovely. I don't think
Yeah,
there was really anything.
He's
in
the
movie
only.
that-
He's the only nice one.
Yeah.
I think that genuinely loved her. And there's some scenes they're getting together. I can't I think it was like there was a disturbing scene where you don't know why he's with her. Maybe it's just for her famousness and all this stuff, because she finds like a manuscript or a play in the attic, and she's looking at it, and it says I think it even says like Marilyn, like a
Yeah.
like a screenplay.
A little on the nose.
You would never write about me, would you, Daddy? No, of course. And then it's him. No, of course not. What would make you say that, Marilyn? Exterior shot. It's like, well, that's what playwrights do. They usually write about what's going on in their lives. Arthur, interior face. I would never do that to you, my love. She's reading it. She's like, what
the fuck?
You wrote exactly the fucking. Anyways,
Yeah, he's like using her as a muse. I think is kind of the implication there.
So you don't because they imply he's like in a slump or something, right? He's working at this school. He's not quite the playwright he was, or he hasn't written in a while, or something,
Hmm.
something like that. Um, yeah. Then we move on to like there's a ridiculous scene where he has some friends over, and of course she's just sad and brooding the whole fucking movie. Well,
Yep.
they didn't come to see me; they came to see you. Don't be ridiculous. They're our friends. They came to see us. Norma Jean. They're
Get your
waiting
fucking
out
ass
on the
out here,
beach. Yeah. Well, can I just want to grab the vegetable tray because I just want to. Okay, grab it. It's gonna get sand in it. No one's no one wants sand in their fucking ranch dip. Uh, so she's going out there finally, and I was like, he's walking out with like 19 beers. She's got a beer in every finger. I brought the beers. My wife's pregnant. She's gonna have 6. But she's pregnant at this time, and oh yeah, every time she's pregnant, they gotta do this fucking artsy avant-garde
Gotta
shot
show
of
the
a fucking,
baby. Yeah.
of a fetus floating. With like the light shining through, it's like translucent. I don't know where they get these shots. Like some of these shots are like real, like that you've seen these shots before. Like
Yeah.
they can show you a fetus. They don't look CG or something. I don't know what they're fucking doing, man. They got a cameraman in somebody's womb, like, hey, you mind turning this way, fetus? I don't know how they get those crazy
Yeah.
shots, but here they have one simulating those shots, and it's always like light shining through skin, so it's got like an orange, pink ambiance, and it's always like floating around, and it's ridiculous. Every time she'll be like, "Oh," and grab her stomach, and and apparently it's the same baby.
Yeah, this is like the most like come on, the most ridiculous. She talks to the baby at one point. She's picking roses or whatever. I'm like, oh my god,
like,
it's me.
I'm back.
Don't kill me this time. It's like, oh my god, we get it.
Please don't get rid of me this time.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I changed my mind, but you did it. That was a different baby. It's always been me. It's like, what? I bet if she had a baby, the next baby would. It's still me.
Yeah.
What? So yeah, a little ridiculous, man. So she walks out there with her freaking vegetable tray. And for no goddamn reason, she just fucking falls, dude. It's a beach. Oh! Slow. Adrian Brody, look. Beer, carrots and fucking broccoli and shit. They think they triple time. Replay it. I think they probably cut to the fetus. Like, no, man.
Oh my
She
god.
falls right on her stomach. Wouldn't you know it? On the sand. And then it's like, can't remember. She touches her stomach and it's all bloody.
Bloody, yeah.
I don't think that really
I don't
happened.
think that
That's
happened.
like
Yeah.
that's like because it's like a gunshot wound on her stomach, not like her vaginal area. It's like her stomach,
Yeah.
and then it's like growing like a crazy gunshot wound. It's like, ah. So there's some mixed fantasy. It's all fucking fantasy, but we're gonna mix in hyper fantasy.
Yeah. What is this fucking Total Recall?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, God. It's always been me, Quay. Open your mind. Oh, tell Adrian Brody to save me with his nose.
Oh my god.
Tell him he was great in The Predator. Oh, so yeah, she falls and oh yeah, she's got Daddy, Norma Jean. He starts running, and yeah, she loses that one too, and that puts her off the deep end.
Yeah.
I was wondering, it's like, man, she's not doing any drugs in this. What's going on, man? We're not it's gonna be like Elvis, but we don't really touch on that part.
We're gonna gloss over that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, she starts doing massive drugs, and they make it seem like it was all forced upon her because she's like, And then, yeah, it shows her like doing movies after that, and she's like freaking out on set. I don't want to fucking do this. I want to go home. And of course, the people are holding her. Calm down. Sorry, she must be her time of the month. And they're just, just being fucking asshole. You can't leave. You're under contract.
Yeah.
And then like they'll come out. We got something. We got the calming juice. Don't worry. They come out with a giant fucking 50 syringe of barbiturates and stick it in her fucking jugular vein. Yeah. Don't worry. It's just a second. It won't hurt. A fucking 50 cc's of fucking barbiturates in your neck. That'll get her. That'll get her working again. It's just, I feel much better now. And then goes and does the movie like a zombie. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And then they show a couple parts. Oh God, bring in the needle again. She needs her calming juice. And it's like, gosh, dude.
Oh my God.
It's so bad. It's like, really? And then so to that point, she's so addicted to these drugs they're forcing on her on set that, it'll show her at home and she's just like fucking popping them like they're fucking Tic Tacs or something. And then her poor husband is like, I'll be at home. How was your day, honey? Who are you? I'm your husband. Get away from me. Run to the bedroom and pop some more pills. And it's just sad. And he's like, oh. He'll be like following her and talking to her. And it's like a fucking The Hangover shot. It's like a steady cam on her face. But stumbling through the house. And he's and he's like blurred out in the background. I'm worried about you. I think you're doing a little bit much. Who the fuck are you to say? Like, what, dude? Oh, steady cam, fucking drug, fucking scene. It's weird, dude. It's so bad. This movie just delights in the
misery
pain and torment of Marilyn Monroe, and like the director delights in it. That's what we like to see of her. That's who she is. That's all she was. The only time she was ever happy when she was in a threesome, which is pretty risque and not socially accepted. So we're gonna make it so the only thing that ever brought her happiness was this. So you should know that. Do you know that? She was in a threesome, okay? And that made her happy because she's a fucking terrible person and she's a drug addict. And I was like, dude,
and she's got daddy problems. The whole thing that carries through the whole movie is she's wants to see her dad. Oh yeah, and
then the dad is like sending her letters throughout the movie. I wish I could see you. Someday I'm gonna show up. I seen you on the television. Very much enjoy. I seen you were married to Joe DiMaggio. I have many questions to ask of him, for I love baseball. Tell Joe I said hello. Your loving, doting father. And he's always like, I cannot meet you right now, for circumstances in my life have become, let's just say, estranged. it's like these "Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego" fucking letters. And she'll always like run to a back and read it, read it, and it's like this voice, and it'll show kind of like that picture of him that probably wasn't him, and like, I can't wait to finally meet you. And it's a little creepy, some of it. It's like, you look so sexy in that motion picture. I can't wait to love on you in real life. Your loving, doting father. I was like, what? There's some borderline shit in there. You're like, oh, don't even start this. Don't even start this, dude. Because there's one point where she's like, we have a secret for you. It's a meeting. We can't tell you. And it was during that time. She's like, oh, is it my father? Is it my father come to meet me? And they take her to this secret hotel room, and it's this secret meeting and all this. And I'm like, no, don't. I'm like, in my mind, it's going to be the secret father, and there is going to be another sexual assault in this movie. I'm like, oh, don't fucking do it. It was like when I thought the church guy was going to assault the Sweetly Retarded Boy from Lawnmower
Oh,
Man. I was like, don't you fucking dare. No, man. You can't do that. That's what I thought was going to
oh
happen.
my god, fucking Lawnmower
Thank
Man.
God it didn't happen in this either. But I wouldn't have fucking put it by him, man.
Yeah.
What did happen in that? I forget what was
It's
in the
Joe
hotel room.
DiMaggio proposing, or he gets on one knee.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
says,
And
we
he
should
wa-
get married or whatever.
He didn't even like get on one knee, did he?
I think
Didn't he just
so.
ca-
I don't
I
remember.
thought he just pulled it out. You think we should get married? What do you think? Yeah, the Yankees are playing tonight. I gotta get an answer. Yeah,
You're a home
I
run.
got-
I'm a home run.
I got box tickets. Right there. No, literally in the batter's box.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I remember it was just like she was just like
Sure.
didn't care. Yeah, and he was just like, what do you think? You want to try it, kid? What do you say you call me daddy for the rest of your life? Huh? Let's go get a slice.
Oh shit.
Whatever. Fuck it. Let's do it. It was ridiculous. And yeah, so the daddy letters keep coming. And then does she ever get by the end of the movie, is she ever done with the playwright Arthur Miller? I don't remember.
No, it's like you were saying earlier. People just fade out of the movie, and he's one of them. He just
Yeah.
disappears from the movie, and then
Yeah.
we kind of transfer to the president at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but I got to get into another part that really grinded my gears because I'm a big fan of, always have been, of John F. Kennedy. I've always thought he was a cool, he's a young president, his crazy times, civil rights bill and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I liked him. He seemed like a very charismatic young president, easy to identify with. And so I know about her and the president. There's some talks of an affair and all that stuff. We all know the happy birthday, Mr. President shit. So she's going to meet him, and like Secret Service shows up to her house and gets her going on a plane and then all this stuff. And I can't wait to meet the president. This is going to be so fun. And she gets into the whatever town they're in. And here's your ticket to leave tonight. And she's like, tonight? So yes, something has changed. The president can't stay here tonight. He has to go back to Washington, D.C. And it's like the, what the hell was that? The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah.
Was going on. And so she's a little off put by that. You could tell like she wanted to spend some time with the president and I wanted to hang out. Yeah, and then like when it starts to get really fucked up. And now you're besmirching Marilyn Monroe's name and John F. Kennedy.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, dude. Yeah, the Secret Service is like, get up. You gotta get prepared, like throw her in a bathroom. You better get yourself ready for the president.
Yeah.
Put on your makeup powder and your reddest lipsticks. They're like just manhandling, hurry up! And they're like pushing her down the hallway now. They were nice in the beginning, and then the closer they get to the president, the more it's like a piece of meat. And they go in the room and he's like on a bed. There's like room service used glasses and stuff around. He's not his like he's got his like back brace on, which he was known to wear. He had a lot of ailments that he didn't show.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing this brace and he's lying on the bed talking on the phone, and kind of gestures her over. And he'll put the phone. Come on, baby, do it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Had a long day or something like that.
Yeah.
Like grabs her hand and shoves it
Yeah,
down.
and she starts, doing the old HJ, and she's looking around the room and she sees all these like wine glasses with lipstick on it, and she's like, I'm not probably not even the third person in this room today. It's like, this president's got some longevity. I tell you what, all day. Yeah, and then he's like, motions her head down there, and she starts giving fellatio. I think that's accepted on YouTube, and that's where it becomes NC-17. I think because you're showing head motion and she's got like her hands
Her
up
hand
and
right here,
stuff.
yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, dude, really? John F. Kennedy, I'm sorry, buddy. And it's like they all
and
got
Marilyn, I'm sorry to both of them because what the fuck?
yeah. I don't know if Marilyn has any like living heirs or anything. I haven't heard about
Yeah.
like a Marilyn estate, and I don't know
That
if
would
she
be
had
rough
any
to watch for a family.
kids or
for
anything.
sure.
But I know there's still Kennedys around because there was a million of them. So yeah, it's just I don't understand how something like that you couldn't. You know what I mean? When you're famous like that, they can just use or your relative who's gone and dead, they can just put him in a movie and have him doing some fucked up shit and say, "This is John F. Kennedy."
Yeah.
It's like that's fucking a little weird to me. Yeah, and then she's having this monologue in her mouth, in her mouth, in her head, in her mouth. She's like, you have to be a good girl. I know you don't like it, but you have to swallow. Remember, you have to swallow.
Yeah, don't puke, don't choke, or whatever. Like,
don't
God
puke.
damn.
He's the president. And I was just like, fucking A, dude, this is so bad. And you think that it's about as bad as it could get.
It gets worse. Yeah.
And then she tries to have some kind of human connection after that and says, Mr. President, I see I'm not the only girl here. I'm not a young idiot. And then he just kind of slaps her across the face and pushes her down to the bed. And they don't show anything, but apparently probably sexually assaults her.
Yeah.
And then because they show her waking up and she's just all disheveled and kind of fucked up. And Secret Service is trying to rush her out of there. Put her in the bathroom and she's peeing. And
it's like stings or something.
Yeah, she's saying ow while she pees, which is insinuating something happened.
Yeah.
And it's just fucked up. It wasn't enough for the, for the Cuban Missile Crisis. You got to move on to the assaults and like, oh my God, it's so, I don't think John F. Kennedy had to assault anyone.
Yeah.
I think he was a well-known ladies' man, and he was the president of the United States. I think he had a lot of consensual sex.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it that way. I think that's the way it went. And yeah, I was just pissed at that part. I was pissed during most of this whole movie, and I was just like, it just kept getting worse, and it's hard to watch. It's like I don't even want to fucking watch this. It's like it's so you feel gross and bad for watching it, and yeah, that part just got me. And then later, she's at her home, and she's like fucking. Her hears a noise in the middle of the night, and it's dark. It's all like dark cam, and then she's looking up, and there's like a guy standing in the corner with like night vision fucking goggles and shit. And it's like the because she finds out she's pregnant, and got the floating fetus again.
I'm back.
It's me. This time I'm a Kennedy. And it's like it's like, how did they know? Like, she didn't tell anybody. She just like found out herself. And then all of a sudden they're in a room. Dun, 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 the Men in Black and shit. And then she falls asleep one night again, and it's got all these people. Then they're like coming in the room and shit with night vision goggles, and she's like hiding in her bed. And then they stick her with some shit. This is just a dream. And they take her off for a completely forced abortion. Like this one, there is no like maybe like they show people grabbing her and like taking her in, and yeah, she's like no, and yeah, it's once again I think they have more forceps fucking
This is when they go all out on the camera angles.
Yeah. It's bad, dude. And then they plant her back in her bed, and she's like, was that a bad dream? And then when she's waking up saying, was that a bad dream? They show like a giant puddle of blood
Mm-hmm.
by her crotch area. And it's like, fucking A, dude. And then I don't really remember. I think after that is when she just starts going wild, right? There's not much after that.
There's not much. Yeah, it's just her wandering in her house, drugged up. I think.
Yeah,
I guess the last like big plot thing was that one of the guys that she was sleeping with out of the double calls and said, "Hey, Cass died. He left a memento for you." And she's like, "I don't want it." Yeah.
You have to want it. He said it was for you. Anyways, and it's like the weird third wheel guy. It's like he was part of the throuple too, but it's not like, who are you again? I was the other guy. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Not Charlie Chaplin's son, right? No, the other one. Oh yeah, I remember you. Sure. Gemini's, right? You know.
Oh my god.
So he drops it off, and it's like a teddy bear. It'd been in some scenes earlier, I think, with them or something. And then there's a fucking letter.
Man, this is another one. It's just like, God damn it! Like the hit is fucking coming. Jesus.
It's like a letter from him. And it's like, no, it wasn't a letter, right? It was just like a simple.
It was,
and it's a piece of white paper. They show you, and it's empty, and then it kind of fills in so you don't read it too quick or something. It says, "There was never any doting father. Love, Cass."
And love was like crossed out. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was writing the letters.
He was the one who was writing letters to his dad. So there was no dad the whole time. So it's just like, Jesus.
And that just throws her over the edge. At first second, you think, oh, that's kind of sweet. Like he's trying to make her fill that void. But then you're like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, bro. And she thinks it's fucked up, and she just goes crazy. And just fucking goes nuts. Yeah.
I think she committed suicide like the next scene or something. It ends really quickly after that.
And she's just, I think I looked up the real thing. She just took like 40 pills or something.
Jesus.
And they did. The thing is, you get this fantasy fucking movie where everything is pretty much fake and fucked up. But then you have parts that are going to make people think it's not, because the death is completely accurate. Like, they found her on a bed, naked, holding a phone. And so you have that exact thing.
Yeah.
Make sure we get the phone in there. It's like, so that's got to be accurate, right? The way, of course, that's got to be accurate. Her lying there dead. Mm-hmm. It's like this fucking dude who directed this movie, and we can't get that wrong, man.
Yeah, even on the photos, like real life photos of Marilyn Monroe, they recreate scenes out of, so it's like they keep doing this over and over again. We're like, oh, that photo from the 50s, and here's the context of it, but the context of it is complete bullshit. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's really weird.
Yep. And it's fucked up. This whole movie has been leading to this. Like this movie has wanted to kill Marilyn, wanted to show Marilyn dead. Like she lived only to reach this moment of death. Her life was meaningless and full of pain and anguish. That's what this movie wanted. That's what this movie did. And then they have this thing like, I don't even know. This is what I got from it. So she's dead, right? And then they superimpose her, almost like leaving her body, and she like cuddles her pillow next to her. Like, oh, now I'm happy. Like, she was finally happy once she got to do all these drugs and die. Yeah. And I was like, oh my fucking God, bro. Suicide is only one thing. Sad.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not a happy ending. It's a happy ending. She's free. No, It's not.
Sad, selfish to all the people who were around her that loved her. Like, it's not a good
It's not good. And that's how it ends. I never thought I'd be like one of these people. It's like, this movie is just a fucking offensive to me. I've never found a movie offensive and like been genuinely hurt by a film. And I was like, I didn't think it could happen to me. I didn't think I could Karen out, dude. But fuck, dude, this movie fucking blows, dude. This movie is a travesty to the art form, a travesty to Marilyn Monroe's legacy, to Kennedy's legacy, even Joe DiMaggio. You got to make my boy a woman beater.
Mhm.
I don't know if he was. Maybe he was. I don't know. Sports players in the 50s and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Could be. But anyways, the point still stands about everyone else. Fucked up, man. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna say go. I was gonna say go watch it and see how bad it is, but please don't. Please don't watch this piece of garbage and give them any more views or fucking than they already have. Yeah, I was literally offended and hurt by this movie. It's a fucking 4.
Damn, I didn't think you were gonna go that low because that's how low I went. Yeah, this movie fucking sucked. It was so fucking boring. This movie did not need to be 3 hours long. What they're doing with the movie isn't necessarily, breaking any new ground. I didn't really feel connected to Marilyn. Like it's 3 hours. Hey, you want to go see Marilyn get fucking beat up and raped and humiliated for 3 hours? Well, I got the movie for you. And it's like that's not how I want to spend my fucking time. Like I don't mind like movies that are can be depressing or hard to watch. Like I don't really shy away from those movies. But this was like gratuitous, like a lot of the other movies that I love that are kind of sad or depressing, they're not gratuitous. They just happen to have a sad ending or a sad moment that happens where you're like, oh man, that fucking sucks. But this just beats you over the head I mean, there's 2 abortion scenes, there's multiple rapes, there's beatings, there's her crying, there's her on drugs, there's her, I don't know, being gawked at, which obviously she was a sex symbol. I mean, arguably still is to this day. So there's going to be a little of that in there, but I don't think they really do anything particularly interesting with that angle. Like they have kernels of it, of like, I'm not Marilyn, I'm Norma. That's kind of interesting, but they don't really do anything with it. And the to touch on the look of the movie and how it's filmed. Yeah, I like artsy fartsy stuff when it's done right and the story's compelling. It adds to the story. But this was just like self-indulgent and just boring and meandering. Like one of the things I hate about artful movies, like for every good art movie like this, there's like 10 that are awful. And a lot of them are like, they do the thing where it's like dreamy and look at the beautiful leaves and look at Marilyn as the camera. I'm like, that's so boring to me. Like the dreamy type of filmmaking. Like I'm just so fucking bored. I may have liked it in my 20s. Like, oh, it's so artistic. But now I'm just so fucking over this stuff. And this movie has a lot of that. I mean, some of the shot compositions are interesting, but some of it just feels like the last shot of the film, right after she hugs her pillow, like the camera's handheld because it's dodgy and it goes to the end of the bed and then it kind of scoots back and then it like shuffles to the ground and it's like someone just put the camera on the ground and walked away and I'm just like,
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, what the fuck? It looks
it's like a Blair Witch ending, dude.
Yeah.
You fucking drop the camera and you see her feet in the corner or something. I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. This is a movie I'll never rewatch. I don't think anyone should watch. I don't think there's anything outside. You know what? Outside, I'll give you one good critique, which is I thought Ana de Armas was great. I thought she put a great performance. I just wish it was in a better movie. And actually, not even just her. I think there's a lot of good acting in the movie. But yeah, I would just recommend someone finding a really good documentary on Marilyn Monroe or a book that's not fucking fictitious. Yeah, I'm a little higher, but it's still in the same range. I came in at a 4.5. I don't think I'm gonna ever rewatch this. I don't think anyone probably should. It's not very good. Not very good at all.
No. I was looking forward to it, and it's like, who's this movie for? Because if you're willing to spend 3 hours watching a Marilyn Monroe movie, this is not what you want the content of it to be.
Yeah.
right? It's like, yeah, you're not there for this. If you're willing to spend that much time on a Marilyn Monroe movie, it means you want to see something. It doesn't have to. These don't have to be fucking biographies, but we want some real story in there, like Elvis and stuff. We want to learn something we didn't maybe know after the movie. We want to Google and see, hey, was that true? I don't want to Google after the movie and find out none of it was true.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? She was named Norma Jean. Oh, shit. I thought her name was Marilyn. They got me.
Yeah.
There's a fact I learned. Yeah, so unfortunately, or fortunately, in your case, we watch it so you don't have to. All right. Blonde, 4.5, 4.0. Stay away from this shit, okay? Yeah. You got someone you really hate? Buy them the DVD. I don't know. I'm sure they have this on a physical media. I save Blu-ray copies of Blonde to hand out to people I just despise. Here's a movie. Watch this.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like Netflix buried this movie in its algorithm because, yes, I'm aware you can search for a movie on Netflix, but there's something to me, I'm weird. I like to search things out. I don't know. Until I can't find it, then I search it. But I just like the scrolling and I love that. And but this, I actually had to search for this movie because it was not in any of their only Netflix original row wasn't there. It wasn't in the dramas. It wasn't in the based on a book. Yeah. It wasn't in any of the things. I'm like, damn, they really fucking buried this one. Like they're afraid of it. I guess it is NC-17, but
they got a lot of backlash, and it was NC-17. Yeah, I think most of the reviews I've seen are kind of in our same. I had 50s is like the best I've seen. Mm-hmm. Because we're fucking humans and we don't want to see this. I mean, if it was true, maybe you could deal with it. But when it's fictitious and you just go through all this work to just really hurt someone and make their every waning moment in your movie a torment, it's like, I don't want to watch this, dude. If I want to watch this, I'd be beating my dog or something, bro.
Yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, obviously, I never knew Marilyn clearly, but she obviously had some problems because she committed suicide. There was something going on with her as an individual. So I get wanting to make a movie of how we got there, how she got there, but it's just like the way they went about it was just wrong, inaccurate, and just boring, and the execution was just kind of bullshit, to be honest.
It's not just the content of the movie, which is egregious.
Yeah.
It's just the movie was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't good story, it wasn't good editing, it wasn't a good flow.
It meanders.
Too long, it's boring. Yeah. Maybe you could say visually it looked okay. There's some cool looking stuff. But that's about it. Mm-hmm. So 4.0, 4.5. If you feel the need, grab a shovel and dig for this mofo in Netflix because it's hidden. You gotta get
very hidden.
You got to get to the roots, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like right before you cancel your subscription, that shows up.
Before you leave, are you sure? We got Blonde.
Okay, just to confirm your cancellation, please watch Blonde. That's how you cancel Netflix.
Yeah, man.
That's how they keep their subscribers. Oh, forget it. I'll just deal with the $24 a month. Anyways, guys, thanks for showing up. We appreciate you. Let us know what you think. Was this a out of the park? Did you love what they did to Marilyn here? Are you a bigger fan of Marilyn? Did you go out and seek out her movies? Mm-hmm. We appreciate having you. As always, we're on Spotify and Apple Music. Always here on YouTube in the flesh, in the vidges. We love having you. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Please come hang out every Sunday. Until the next Vs, we are the Bryans, and we say peace.
Peace.